I wanted particularly to learn more about my place in this very long, ancient Jewish history. And in particular, my both parents lived through Nazi Germany, and I began to realize that my identity as a Jewish person living in this century was very connected to being the daughter of German Jewish refugees. And my father's parents were in Berlin at the time when the beginning of Hitler's rise to power came, and they never were able to leave. They didn't get enough money and the borders closed, and my father was very, very lucky. He had relatives in London, 2 artists, who were able to send money for his brother, who was older, and for himself to get out on the what's called the kinder transport. And he was able to survive along with his brother, but his parents, my grandparents, never made it out of Nazi Germany. And my father sustained, he was only a boy of 12, some very significant trauma from that, of course. And this had an impact on me because he never embraced his Jewish roots, never wanted to go to the synagogue, never wanted to talk about God. He was very alienated from God because of what had happened. My mother, on the other hand, had a different story. Her parents were affluent. Her father was an attorney, and they were able to pay on the last boat to get out. And when I was a little girl, and up until a young woman, I had it in my mind that the world was divided into some got out and some didn't get out, because that was what I understood, that the world, where some Jews got out and some didn't. And I didn't understand the full import of what that meant. So I had this division within myself. But the yearning for a desire to understand my place in the big scheme of being a Jewish person grew deeper. And when this rabbi that came, and it was around the Christmas holidays when it's very, very typically, very many Jewish people feel particularly lonely because we live in a predominantly non-Jewish world. And I was at one of his services, and I was sitting there feeling a little alienated from the whole world. And he said something in one of his sermons that went something like, "Nobody is closer to God than you are." All of a sudden there was this yearning. It was like, is that true? Because I had felt so, like my father, very alienated from God and very destabilized. So with all of those emotions and my yearnings, that brought me to the GTU to deepen my understanding on an academic level and on a spiritual level.